No, that didn't record. There we are. Well, now we're recording. How much is it going to help you if you just copy the answer key? Not hardly at all, which is going to really suck when you do your quiz, which are worth 10%. Okay? And your labs and assignments. So this is anything that I collect in that's not, a quiz or a test or homework. So that's like the quad beam balance one. It's like the burette activity. And very often for those, they will also probably about half of them will just be for completion, and I'll give them back to you with comments on them, right? Rather than actually giving you a mark. The quad beam one, I decided to give you some marks along with it so you can see where you would lose marks on a test. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. It's mainly when I give you marks, I want you to learn from it, right? You're like, where did I lose that? Why did I not get that? And then you figure out, that's what I need to do better next time. Okay? So those are 10%. So that gives us a total of 25%. Okay? And that means that 75% of your grade is tests, which sounds horrible and scary, but it's actually not. I usually get most people end up with a proficient. Okay? Some people end up with an extending, right? And if you get on your test anything below a proficient, you can come in and do corrections to bring yourself up to the next level. So if you were emerging, you can probably get up to a developing. If you were developing, you can probably get up to a proficient. Yeah.
I knew what test is proficiency. If it was
That's a good question. Okay. I slap my little Band-Aid on afterwards, and usually what I do is that once you've taken all of this, and you got this all together, and this is 100%, okay, and my computer calculates it for me. So don't try just throwing everything into your calculator, adding up and dividing by whatever, because that won't work, because everything is it's weighted, right? Quizzes are worth more than homework, but less than tests, okay? So if you get 80% or above, not to 100%, to 94%, that is proficient. 95 and above is extending, okay? I would also like to see that you have done some of the enriched stuff. Normally people who get over a 95%, they're doing the enriched stuff anyway because they'd get a little bored.
So just the enriched add to the base?
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Okay, we're just going to do the baseline and then I'll tell you how the enriched works, okay? So 80 to 94 is proficient, and then 70 to 79 is developing. Okay, and then 50 to, I'm sorry for the number, 69. Let's get that out of our system. That's emerging. And below 50% usually means that someone has not been attending class, or they've not come in to do corrections or something like that, because you can have a day or you can just have a subject where your brain just, and maybe you get below 50%, but that's okay because you can come in and you can redo a quiz or you can do corrections on your test, right? The only time I've had people fail is when they don't put in that effort to come in and do stuff. Like, for example, nobody in my Science 9 failed last year. One person failed the year before and they did not attend for approximately 3/4 of the semester, right? So you have to kind of work hard. If you don't hand in anything and you hand in your test and it's blank, yeah, sure, you can fail. Okay, but I'm hoping that by doing all the quizzes and all the labs and all the everything, you'll be really prepared by the time you get to the test. Okay? Any other questions about this before I start talking about the enriched? Okay, so you get this. This is your normal stuff. And then we have the enriched. Okay, so the enriched goes in its own bin, and it is also out of 100%. Okay? So whatever you get there, I'm going to take the number 3 and I'm going to multiply by whatever percent you got. Say you got 50%. Okay? That's 50 out of 100. I'm going to take 3, multiply by 50 out of 100, 50%. So say you did half of the enriched stuff and you scored perfect on the half you did. Okay? That equals 1.5. I'm going to add that 1.5 to whatever your percent was over here. Okay? So in theory, if you got perfect on everything, you can add 3% to your percentage. Yeah? Okay. So that's how that works. You will not see this until your report card because I have to enter it manually. It's a pain in the butt. Okay? So I won't be doing that. But when I give you your progress report, fingers crossed they'll be done for tomorrow, but probably they'll be done for Monday because I've got a bunch of grade 12 quizzes to mark for tomorrow because their test is on Monday. Anyway, you'll get a progress report and it'll tell you what your percentage is on everything. We don't have a lot yet, but I want people to know if they're missing homeworks, if they need to get caught up, if they've missed a lab or a quiz or whatever. There's a few people who need to write a quiz, okay? And then there will be a little section that says enriched and it'll say what your percent is for your enriched. And so you would say you got 67% on the enriched. You would take 3 times 0.67, and you would get whatever on your calculator. Oh, that's 2/3. Isn't that nice? That'll equal 2. And so you would add 2% to your whatever grade it says at the bottom. Okay? I justify this because next year you actually will get percent. So it's sort of nice for you to start seeing them now. But basically all that's going to show up on your report card is proficient, developing, emerging. If you are developing, but you're a really high developing, I'm going to say that, right? Like on your comment part, I'm going to be like developing, but like high developing is really on the edge of, being proficient and with, some extra practice or whatever could get to a proficient level, right? Or if you're you just barely squeaked into proficient, I'm going to say that as well, just so that, you know that you're kind of like on the edge. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And on your report cards, I'm going to put stuff like, participates in class, keeps up on their homework while they're away, communicates well, because I've had a fair number of people who've been away or are going to be away and they've let me know, and that's really great. And I can say things like that because that's part of your work habits and stuff like that. So, yeah, anytime you do anything that distinguishes you, I can say something about it. And most of you have done really good things. So, yeah. Yay, you. Okay. Any other questions about this? I'm sure you'll forget. You can always ask me again, okay, if you forget along the way. And we need to give back your quizzes, and I'm going to get you to hand them back because you can start learning some names. But I have a thing that had their names on it. Where did I put it? I had it, and I thought, oh, yeah, I'm afraid I'm not going to do it. And I moved it. Silly me. You did a pretty good job. Actually, before we hand it back, if you want to take a look at it, I'm going to try to okay. So we'll back when we say when it comes time, because I'm sorry, we go through lines. Oh, I found it. Hold them up. All right. I would like to give you guys a vocab list. Thank you so much. Because we are going to have another quiz coming up next week on half of the vocab. Okay, the half that we've done so far. So we're going to get the vocab list and we're going to go through and mark the ones that will be on your quiz next week. So let's grab that for you. Okay. There you are. Okay. Right. All right. So we are going to go through this list and I'll let you know what is going to be on your vocab quiz next week. I think next Tuesday. Vocab quiz next Tuesday. Now, before you get worried about a vocab quiz, these are not going to be, I give you the word and you have to define it. No. Okay? So don't panic. What it's going to be is, do you remember when we had those lists of things that were observations or inferences? Yeah. And you had to understand the difference between an observation and an inference. And you had to understand the difference between a qualitative observation and a quantitative observation. So this quiz will more be about either can you remember the word? I might have some fill in the blanks with the words, like I might have the definition and you give me the word. Or it can be one of those things where it's like, oh, here's some things, which one is an observation, which one is an inference, that kind of thing. So do you understand what it means? Okay, not please write the definition. Okay, we have not yet covered all of these words. So we're going to go through and we're going to put a little, what symbol do we want? Like a little star beside the ones that are going to be on your quiz for next Tuesday?
Are there going to be enriched versions?
For this one, there is no enriched version. Okay. So we're going to skip analysis and bar graph and best fit line because that's all about graphing. Burette, we're not going to worry about that. That won't be on there. Conclusion, yes. Because we're going to do that today.
I folded the thing.
Beautiful. So now you can figure out who they are.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, you should know control. What's another word for control? Control group. Okay, so that's the end of page 1. You're going to flip to page 2. Oh, look, we have control group. We have controlled experiment. Oh, excuse me. What's another word for controlled experiment?
Fair test.
A fair test. Okay. Controlled variable. We haven't done correlation yet. We haven't really looked at data. Dependent variable. Have we done dependent variable?
Yep.
Yes. Have we talked about energy?
Did.
We did a little bit, okay? In the fact that it is not matter. So you might actually want to put energy is not matter. You could add that in there. So heat, light, and sound are all examples of that. An experiment, yes, we're going to go through that today. We're going to do scientific method today, okay? I know you all did it last year, so we won't spend too long on it. Hi, yeah,
Okay.
no worries. We are not going to do extrapolate because we haven't done graphing yet. Have we done experimental group? Yes. Fair test? Yes. Force? Yep. Gravity? Yep. And now we're going to flip to page 3. High correlation, we're going to skip. We are going to do hypothesis. Independent variable. Star that one. We're going to star inference. Are you starring them? Yeah? Okay, cool. All right. Interpolate, we're not going to because we haven't done that yet. Line of best fit, no. Linear relation, no. Low correlation, no. Manipulated variable, yes. Mass, yes. Matter, yes. Look at all these words you've learned so far. Negative correlation, no. No correlation, no. Nonlinear relation, no. Non-matter, yes. Observation, yes. Not outlier, haven't done that yet. Perfect correlation, not yet. Placebo. We've talked about placebos. Not positive correlation. Prediction. What's that? You have to go? Okay, cool. The lesson is all recorded, so yeah. Quadruple beam balance, yes. Qualitative observation, yes. Quantitative observation, yes. Responding variable. What's another word for responding variable? That is our dependent variable, yeah. Not trend line variable, yes. Volume, yes. Like I said, we're going to do scientific method today. So scientific method, yes. We've not done scatter plot yet, so no. Scientific notation, that's enriched, and most people have not quite gotten there yet. If you're working on that and you finished exponents, you can start looking at scientific notation. Come and see me if you have any questions about it. Significant figures, again, that's enriched. Spring scale. We're going to be looking at that either today or tomorrow, so let's star that one. Trend line, no. What? Trend line? It probably showed up in with... Oh, I'm sorry, I've got it twice. So you don't need to learn it twice, you just need to learn it once. Okay? And you don't need to learn it yet because we have not yet done trend lines. Weight. Yes. What's the unit of weight, by the way? The weight, the unit is a Newton. Unbiased, we've not done that yet. X-axis, Y-axis, you might know them already, but we don't need it. Thank you so much. Oh, no, this is Sue, and she's right there.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's it. So we will have a quiz on Tuesday on all of those words, okay? All right. And for you, I'm going to get you.
I think I have the same. I think that might be a 9. I missed them on the back. I thought I had to write the steps, so.
Okay, friends, we are going to go to, actually, before we do anything, how many of you did scientific method last year? Okay, so before we do anything official, you are going to grab yourself a piece of paper. If you have paper, that's great. Where do you go to get paper if you don't have paper? Back there by Aria, there's a little bin that's got blue handles, and you can grab yourself a piece of paper. And you are going to write out the steps of the scientific method that you remember from last year. If you remember only 1 or 2, that's okay. Just do your best. Steps of the scientific. Absolutely, yes. I'll hold on to it for you.
Should probably actually look at the traditional because I did not remember.
Feel free to discuss with your neighbors, but just see what you can remember. Even if you don't get the order, maybe you just remember a few things. What did we do?
I've got papers from Sue. Oh my god, you're here. I'll take you.
Pardon me?
You're gonna draw that one.
Hey, look at that. Cross-curricular.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. You're fabulous. You're not fabulous. This thing puppy. Oh my god. Okay, so what's actually like the most scientific method? You should probably get on.
Yeah, you should probably be talking about that. I was wondering when you were going to get down to it.
Something question I think is like the first one. Oh, stuff for scientific. Like question. Something like having a question. That's like the first thing, right? Like having a question.
Oh, and if you have any questions about your quiz, don't worry, you can ask me about them later. Okay, we'll have some time when we're working on stuff if you want to, if you're like, you added it wrong, or I just don't understand this bit, like we'll have time later when we're working on things, I can talk to you about it. Okay.
I forgot. I completely forgot.
That's okay. That's okay.
Graduated from six, seven,
You thinking about the scientific method back there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Just
Checking in.
yeah, I can't. Yeah, I should probably. Do you have yeah, it looks so good. I love how I had like a sad that Kylie was like stealing from watermelon. Yeah, like you test the hypothesis for the experiment, right? And then if you're what question it again? If any question, when you go back to the question, hypothesis, and you do it over and over. We can go like that. Judge me.
Okay, what's a good starting place? Yes.
Question.
You can have a question, okay? I'm going to leave some spaces in between because we might have more things or less things. Not every scientific method is identical, right? Every time you go through the process, it's not always identical. There is no one specific scientific method, but there are some general things that are in there, and one of them is definitely a question. You could also call it a problem. What might you do after you have a question or a problem? Yeah. You come up with a hypothesis. Yes. Let's remind ourselves, what is a hypothesis? Yeah, it's what you think will happen. It is an educated guess. You're not just like, oh, I think that if I have, I don't know, I can't even think of anything. The last period of the day, my creativity just goes on my brain. We were talking about sugar water yesterday and honey water and maple syrup water. An educated and water with nothing in it and the fruit flies that come around, I might guess that maple syrup might be the best one because it comes from trees and fruit is like trees and fruit flies maybe want to go there. That would be an educated guess. If I said, I think it's going to go to the regular water because that's regular, that's not an educated guess. That's just like making stuff up. Yes? So we can't just make things up for a hypothesis. We need to use our logic and things we've observed. You could also do some research. So you're going to use your logic, things you've observed, things you've researched, and you're going to come up with an educated guess as to what will happen. Yeah. A hypothesis and an inference. So an inference is where you look at your observations and you say, I think this happens, or I think this is the process that happened. For example, one of the little labs that I do in Chem 11 is that they light a candle, right? And then you put a beaker over top of the lit candle and the lit candle goes out. So you can make the observation that it went out. Your inference could be that the carbon dioxide that is made, carbon dioxide is in fire extinguishers, and that's what made it go out. So that would be something where you've already done the experiment and you're making inferences based on your observations. This is at the start of your experiment. You're like, I think this is how the experiment is going to go based on things that I've seen in the world. Does that make more sense? Yeah, the inferences come after the experiment. Yeah? So that's a really good question. What will happen when we do the experiment? So this is before the experiment. And that's one of your vocab words. Okay? What are we going to do after we've made our hypothesis? I think this is what's going to happen. I think this is how it works. Yes? You're going to do an experiment. You're going to design an experiment. Okay? So first you have to design the experiment. Can I just put EXPT for experiment? To test your hypothesis. What are you going to do after you've designed the experiment? This one's easy. You're going to actually do the experiment. Yeah, you'll do the test. You'll do the experiment. I'm going to say perform the experiment. That sounds official, doesn't it? And when you do your experiment, what are you going to be doing? You're going to be collecting data, and data is with numbers. You can also do, starts with an O, observations, okay? After our experiment, what shall we do with those data and observations?
As hypothesis or compare it to the hypothesis.
You can compare it to the hypothesis, yes, by yes. Or just say what you wanted to say. Forget that I said anything. Pardon me? Conclusion's going to come after. Okay, conclusion's going to be next. Yeah?
Creating the hypothesis based on what you have.
Yeah, but in order to do that, we need to do something with our data and our observations.
Organize it.
We need to organize and analyze. Okay? So what that's going to be is it's going to be, you're going to put it into, and I'll also put and organize. Are you guys okay with that little symbol for and? I'm just too lazy to write and. You can just write a plus if you want to. That could be putting things in data tables. That could be drawing graphs. That could be comparing. Could be summarizing. When you get into high-level stuff, very often involves some math. They do statistics on it. Okay, they'll analyze it and say, how good is our data? Is our data like bound to be off by about 5%, or does it look like it's going to be off by about 10%, you know, plus or minus 10%? Okay, now we've analyzed our data and observations. Now what are we going to do? We're going to do a conclusion. We're going to say, was our hypothesis correct or was it incorrect? If it was, you can say, hey, yeah, fruit flies are the most attracted to maple syrup. If it was wrong, you can say the hypothesis was wrong. Fruit flies were not most attracted to maple syrup. They were most attracted to the honey, which kind of would make sense because that comes from flowers. But, you know, thank you so much. Okay, so that's our conclusion. And then anything after that? Yeah.
if your hypothesis is wrong, then you make a new hypothesis?
If your hypothesis was wrong, you can make a new hypothesis. And then what happens? Then we go, swoop. Here's our new hypothesis. And we can go, back to the experiment stage. Design an experiment, conduct an experiment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Is good? Okay. Now, if you got everything and you figured it all out to the best of your ability, and you didn't need to come up with a new experiment, at the end of everything, what should you do? Unless you're a mad scientist working in your basement all by yourself and you don't care about anybody else in the world. No, sorry, you wanted to say something. Pardon? Create a theory. You can create a theory. Theory is a word that we are going to talk about a little bit more because a theory is actually a really big idea. In fact, sometimes it doesn't even have to be a big idea. Sometimes it can be a small idea, but it explains this experiment and that experiment and that experiment and that experiment and that experiment. And it predicts that this will happen and that will happen and that will happen and that will happen. And you can do these experiments and that will support then your theory. Okay, so like say for example, the theory of gravity says that the bigger the mass of the object, the more the attractive force. Well, the fact that the calculator drops towards the desk and doesn't fly towards me, goes with that. The fact that planets go around the sun and don't fall into it because they're moving, that also supports gravity, how they move in relation to one another. But we'll talk more about theories later. Okay, yes? Share your data and your conclusions. So you're going to communicate your results. Yeah. Okay, communicate your results. Now, hopefully someone else, settle down. Hopefully someone else will check your results for you and all that kind of thing. So let's go back here and I'm going to add something in front of the question because often before the question, you'll make an observation. Often, but not always. You'll be like, oh, I notice that this happened. That's kind of weird. I wonder why that happened. Right? So this particular one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8 steps. You could shorten that down to how many steps? As few as you need. Do you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be all of those. You should understand, I'm not going to have you list out all of these. What you are going to do is you are going to have to be able to recognize and put them in order. Would you do an analysis before you've done your experiment? Would you analyze your data before you've done the experiment? No, that makes no sense. So you should be able to take a list and be able to put these in order. Okay? Now, we're going to practice a little bit with these. So we are going to go to page, where are we? I need my book. $54. $54, $55, $56, $57.
My God.
Pages 54 to 58. Okay, pages 54 to 58. And you got 20 minutes to work on it. Would anyone like to go for a parking lot walk before we do that? Yeah. Yes? Okay, let's go. Might as well enjoy the nice weather while it's happening. Yeah, no, that's fine. You can just wait.
What's your name again? I didn't get it. Chris. You'll sing 7. Sorry. I'm here to let you not 6-7. No, but I mean, like, it would motivate me to put like 6-7, you know, like, it should be helpful. Why do you go? I was still watching. Okay. Well, but still there. What about this guy? His leg is injured, that's why. Oh, sure. Yeah, they don't see it. He has a cast on. Where are you from? Iran. Oh, Iran. No, you're not. I put my hand together. I want to step. Watch. Well, little bit. You're working on that? No, on the silence. Oh, for this class? Yeah. Right. We're all back. So I was, I want to go upstairs to this point.
No, please stop. Get away from our stuff. You're not having me.
Oh my goodness.
You're not. Moving your head. You're taller. I don't know what you're talking about. What? Who said that? I'm usually the well, maybe they smoke a bit of weekend.
Let me just see. I do think I do. Yeah, you know what? If
Okay.
this won't take long,
It's a quiz.
it's a quiz. And I won't get you to do the whole thing because it's complicated. It's grade 12 stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, but there are things that are either right or wrong. Okay. So this first one here,
Oh, endothermic.
endothermic, exothermic.
System.
This one,
Oh.
it's worth 1 mark, negative 50 kilojoules per mole. Okay, if they're missing the unit, they lose 0.25.
Okay.
If they're missing the negative sign, they lose 0.5.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, punishment.
Now, if the unit is just kilojoules instead of kilojoules per mole, again, just 0.25. Okay? Yeah. And they don't have to show any work. So this is just,
Oh, this is changing moles, huh? Change for moles.
it's the kilojoules per mole. Yeah,
The
yeah.
energy.
Yeah. And then we're gonna do this one here. What is step 5 fast or slow? It is fast. And then this one here, no, we're not gonna do that one
It's wrong, huh?
because that's
Or
complicated.
no?
That's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's complicated. There's all sorts of things they could write down. So I'm just gonna have you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can circulate around and take a look at the kiddos.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sound good.
There you go.
Okay.
Hello. We usually not have flex tomorrow. I know, right? I know, right?
Don't understand how it's only put there. I'll do it later. I mean, I said I was gonna do it on the weekend, but the action. What page are you on? 54 to 58. Why are you so bad? I can put it down. I swear.
So.
Why is this one cockroaches? Gross.
That's what you watch.
That's a great. Yeah.
So, you know, you're rushing. It's right. It's not like we have 17 different things. Same number of functions. Same format. Different. Is there a level? Okay. If anyone wants to ask me questions about their quiz, now would be a good time to do that. I would normally say, I would normally say lunch tomorrow, but there's a lunch tomorrow. So, before you would do, I have some lunch, so I want to do lunch. Okay. And we want yeah, actually, I'll just tell you like. And it's like the stuff you're marking is like the easiest stuff on there.
Easiest.
Yeah, yeah.
Then how do you how do you calculate the energy of plasma?
Oh, we don't.
No. No.
No.
Then how do
No, don't page to change it.
entropy?
And will be.
Oh,
And
entropy.
what it should.
Okay.
That's what it's for my.
Oh.
No, it's not. Oh, no, that's. Can you do it right now? Wonderful, thank you. You could do it right now. There's only one chance. You happy to do it now?
I'm not scared if I do bad on that one.
Then that's your grade.
The final?
Yeah, whichever one is better out of the two.
I'll do.
You'll do it right now? Okay, cool. Actually, where did I put them? I just had them, and did I put them in here? Was I clever enough? What's that? Yeah. Making measurements. B, did I put it in there? No, I was not that clever. Well, then I just, it was the one that you did for me earlier, and I don't know what I did with them. Oh, here we go. Yeah. There we go. That's the one. There we go. Okay. Just wander around and see if you need any help with anything.
Okay, do you need any help? You.
Not for just right yet.
Okay, I'll be here.
I'm here not. Yeah.
Someone.
Okay.
Oh, who was that? Yeah. When did you want to get it? Oh, when did you like it? I would say now, except for those back meetings you have in school, I don't do it. I would say less, but I don't like hang out, but you could do it lunch tomorrow, or Monday lunch, or Tuesday flex. Lunch tomorrow, there was like something else. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be.
Yes.
What's the homework for today?
What's the homework for today?
54.
54 to 58. Yep. Between 5 and 6.
Backpack representative. Are these 30 tests?
This is just a kid who wrote it today, so I just want to go through it really quickly
Okay.
for him so he can get it back today.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'd have you do it. Yeah,
If you need any help, I'm still here. Okay.
absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're very helpful. I like it. And you're very interactive with the class. I like that.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And,
How long has this been?
long time.
Oh.
Next day, if you have some time, you could take it down to the office for me. Let's not worry about it today, but yeah, if you're looking for something to do next time, you take it down to the office, because I'm like, it has been here literally since I think the first day.
First day of school?
School,
This year?
I think so. Yep. Yes.
I think I took your test. Oh, oh, that was take your test, right? Hey, where's my test? Oh, that's right here. Where's my test?
Last in 3 minutes.
It's hard to read. Oh, it's I'm not getting that. What's your phone? Yeah, if you still got your cell phone here,
I bet they're happy.
Okay, stop recording. Why are you not stopping recording? What is wrong with you, Mr. Machine? Okay.
You're recording.
Yeah. I have to get this thing to stop though. Maybe if I press pause, or maybe I just need to make sure everything else is closed. And then I don't edit it or anything. I just post it. That way, if someone is away, if they want to see the lesson, they can.
Oh, that's smart.
Right? Usually it's not very many, but you do get people who are like, they're away for a few days and they're quite keen to do well. And they'll be like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna watch this while I'm at home, in bed, with my cup of tea, right? Yeah. But I can't figure out why it won't stop. Oh, it's okay. Let's
Maybe
close that. Let's close that. It's probably just thinking too hard. Oh, look at that. I don't want to exit. No.